goes for the spread. Oh, he gets pulled in.
Oh, no. Still have the passive here. Right now, his skill will go down. Wise Man out of the picture. Spear Destruction thrown on out. Does follow through, and now Robix falls down. There's the kick. Witty will get the Purify out. Still going to be on the hunt for roadblocks, and meanwhile, the fight is split up as Dark Baby goes down. It's a triple right there for Ju, making a Maniac. He wants the Savage. He might make his way to this. Arnana keeping him there. Lifestyle knows what's coming. Dark waves through. He'll get the Savage.
Oh no, Dark Baby!
Dark Baby in trouble. Arnon stuck on him, but still gonna be fighting. Now it's Witty that goes down first. The passive already popped from Wise Man. Klaus is fighting back as Lifestyle dunks on him. But now Shin, part of the fight, looking for the kill on Roblox. Couple hits, will get it. The rest of the team kind of join here into the base, into the fight, clear the waves, looking for one more kill. Robix trying to buy time, and Leonardo will just go on the hunt. Kabuki, there's the Spear Destruction. He'll be able to join that fight too. Finds Dark Baby. Immortality is going to be popped, but that's not anything to worry about as the base will go down. A Maniac at the end there.
Kills in the bottom lane. The only unfortunate thing I can say is, oh my god!
Meanwhile, a push up top from Chin. Meanwhile, 4 versus 5 here in the jungle. There you go. You can't escape that Baby Shiva in there. The Zaman forcing enough damage to come through with Leonardo to clean up. And Chin will jump in under the turret as Dark Baby falls. Backside with AOG. Gets the unbreakable taunt off. But still, as tanky as they are, Hezu's going to be fine. Under the turret, but go for it anyway. Wiseman will take down Hezu, and now fighting on the turret. Who cares about them? Are able to go ahead and form as a team. But look at this. Once again, the pressure jumping on in. Aran taking a ton of damage. Hezu falls, and Aran still finding enough time to stay alive until finally he goes down. Revitalized, and Witty goes over the walls of the base. But still, I think Indonesia exactly happy with that. Oh, that's the damage from Jin. Again, both shields, all shields in the base are popped. Now Indonesia go for a base turret. Guam on the defense. Crowder will jump in, but he just, even as tanky as is, he gets frozen with a Frigid Glacier. Hard guard again, not enough to save them. This Angela was the play for them, but Guam has not been able to make it use. A Spear Destruction will land. So busy. Look at the damage though. One shot will make them go back, and from mid to bottom. Unless they have another idea, Final Slash going to be used, base going to be locked on. They're just going to force them to fight anyway. Cannon minion still up, but Indonesia will go in for the kills. The triple from Leonardo, looking for possibly a Maniac even into the base, but does turtle. But looks like they still might be able to go ahead and secure it. They're still trying to secure the objective. Here he goes, joining the fight now. Does just go in, gets the red tree off. Right now going to be in trouble, takes a ton of damage again. Bobby, bomb, gone. Everybody throwing everything at Sherlinka. They take out basically every base or whatever he wants. Oh! Yahiko able to dodge the rage. There's Crystal Blood able to find 2 as Xerox goes down. Black Cat can be in trouble too. Whoa! Under the base he goes. Yahiko will clean it up. Lord's still going to be up a little bit longer, but they're just going to go ahead and focus down the base. Revitalize, trying to clear out the waves, but that enhanced wave already pushing in. You can see Night Owl quite low. Bobby Bob, unstoppable. Johnny Gunn will get 1 too, and they'll just wipe them out, and they'll take game 1 for Nepal.
They're going for the blitz!
Going for the blitz, but look, they sent Black Cat down to the bottom to push. So if they can somehow get this Lord, it's going to be huge for them. There's the flicker forward, and Ganigan's going to be able to take out Sky Zone. So Yahiko's able to secure the Lord, and now the fight's going to still break out. A Final Slash able to fight too, and they're just melting. Whoa, Night Owl jumping in, not going to be able to toss up Maserop over the wall, and now Night Owl going to be in trouble. Will get punished for that decision. Lord almost here up on the top side and down at Night Owl. This is going to be troublesome for sure. Not going to defend. Now in trouble there. There goes Dead Zone. He's gone. They got 3 left, but under the turn they're going to go. Still, Yahiko waiting to go ahead and pop that shot of kill if he has to. A couple rapid shots in the face for Sky Zone as he heavy spins around trying to buy some time. But he'll get melted too, and it looks like Nepal is looking to close it out. A Final Slash able to clean up back Cat. And now, even with the shadow kill into the fountain, they're just going to throw everyone there. And they're like, guys, just locked down on the base, but they hold on as much as they can. It's a triple, a Maniac for Gunny Gone in Nepal.
Hey, after a full day of sweeps yesterday, 3 matches, we are in for 2 matches for um, us today, and it's gonna be me and Naisu. Hey, Naisu, what is up?
Hello. Well, it's a very rainy,
Ooh.
stormy day here in the Philippines. I'm glad I made it because I was running through the rain earlier on, but I'm excited. It's it's day 5 here for Iesf Asia and Oceania qualifiers. You know, we had a whole day of sweeps, me and Leo, yesterday, and again, it was nice to see some of the teams compete that we don't typically get to see. That being, for example, Laos and Sri Lanka from yesterday. Now, for today, there's 2 teams we do get to see compete quite a bit, and they're in different matches. You know, that's going to be Myanmar, and then later on Cambodia. Their opponents, though, I think is where my eyes are going to be here, Gani. That's Timor. I always say this wrong. Timor-Leste. Timor-Leste.
Is that how you pronounce it?
I think
Timor-Leste.
Leste. How do you pronounce it? You tell me.
We say it Timor-Leste as is, right? But yeah, you're right. 2 matches in store. You mentioned Myanmar, Cambodia. They will take on Timor-Leste and Guam, respectively. So yeah, I'm excited to see what they will bring to the table for us today. But you mentioned the sweeps. Was it
Indonesia?
Oh, Indonesia. Yeah, Indonesia played yesterday. Philippines was. Did you
They're off stream.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we had 2 Indonesian games back to back yesterday.
Wow. And both matches got sweeps, I assume. So let's see just a full recap, right? The official schedule for the day, you guys. We mentioned it already. Myanmar taking on Timor-Leste, Cambodia versus Guam, but it will still be a best of 3. So just prepare. But let's see the groups first, because yeah, we got Southeast Asia A and B, we got West Asia A and B, and difference is consisting 5 for Southeast Asia, consisting 3 for West Asia.
Yeah, with this, again, you know, you guys can go ahead and check online, isf.gg, to kind of stay updated with everything. Right now, giving this, we're going to find out who all fits into the playoffs, at least here for Southeast Asia, especially, I believe, for some of the other groups around Asia, even West Asia, if I remember right, is already slotted in for their semifinals because there is less teams there. But of course, this is the other teams. Still, you got Central Asia, you've got East Asia, and then of course you have South Asia. So again, plenty of teams competing out here for the Asia and Oceania qualifiers, and it's been good. I would say overall, as we've got a glimpse at different games from different groups, it's been nice to see, you know, some of the other teams that we don't typically get to see too often. Because, you know, I love Southeast Asia too, man. But we see them all the time, you know? So we're going to see them a little bit more today because, like we mentioned, our first match of the day is right here. It's going to be Myanmar versus Timor-Leste. And then later on, last match. There's only 2 matches today. So this is the first time I feel like we've only had 2 matches. We've got Cambodia versus Guam.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like we got some information here too, Gani, for off-stream matches.
Yeah, I mean, we got a couple of info indeed that we have off-stream matches. You're right. Thailand versus Brunei Darussalam, and we will have Vietnam taking on Laos as well. So better check that out. Just see the results. Again, just check their website to see the full overview on what is going on. But yeah, we will, though, focus on towards Myanmar and Timor-Leste in a bit. All right, nothing too crazy, I feel like, in this qualifiers. No real plot twists, no real crazy, unexpected results so far.
The biggest plot twist that we've seen, Gani, aside from the under 7-minute game, which was Indonesia, I think that was day 2 or something, would be the drafts. Like, I guess the drafts, in a way, like, some of them are telegraphed, but also me and Leo talked about this yesterday, how this kind of like mini patch did come out. It had some, you know, minor changes to some of the heroes out there, especially notably the Lancelot, for example. He had some minor nerfs. Some of these heroes also got buffed, like the Lilia, which we did see bring to the table yesterday as well. So there's been this like minor it's like a minor patch. It's like a baby patch, honestly. It's like a little baby patch that came through. But ultimately, the drafts are, I guess, the most curveball or the interesting part of it, because we still see the patterns of a ton of contests between junglers, that being the Lancelot and the YSS. But then also, if teams choose to ban it or pick it up, that's a whole nother story. Now, if they ban it, then what we are also seeing is some more breathing room, and this is what I was very vocal about yesterday, is some breathing room in the mid lane. Notably from Indonesia, man. Wiseman, Yehezkiel, he brought out the Aurora back-to-back both times. And so we were really wondering, like, all right, Aurora actually makes a lot of sense in the way things are with the current meta. And if you remember, when we were casting day 3,
Exactly.
we got to see some mix-up there, too. The chip came through, a Mincetar in the gold lane. So teams are still, I feel like, you know, if they want to throw us for a loop or anything, it's in the draft, man.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned when we were casting together that, hey, we need more heroes on the mid lane. And it seems like with this, perhaps we might see more of variety in that mid lane area. So let's see what action will the teams bring today, and hope for the best, all right? May the best team win, of course. And yeah, Naisu, how are you feeling about the match? Are you confident with a clean sweep series, or perhaps you might expect like a maybe we might see a game 3? Yeah, for the matchup.
For this matchup, like our first one, I gotta say, it's tough because like we don't have enough information on Timor-Leste. I remember saying this last year too. So again, this is what me and Gani are going to be talking about here. It's a best of 3 for this group stage match, Myanmar versus Timor-Leste. And honestly, this has been the case, man. A lot of our online streams here for our matches have been, you know, one team that we have a ton of information on, that we've seen in the past quite a bit, versus a team that might not have as much information, you know, online to go about. Because here's the team roster for Myanmar. These again are very familiar names for a lot of people that watch Mlbb, and we got King Flash, Juno, Nico, Kun, and Boye. Basically the guys from Mythic Seal. So we know they're seasoned. We know the veterancy that these guys have. We know that they're able to go ahead and do amazing things. Even you and I got to go ahead and see some glimpses of this, you know, previously. And King Flash, for example, super impressive in the jungle, of course. So, but across from them is the team here from Timor-Leste.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be. We don't need to introduce the Myanmar side, but Timor-Leste, we have TLS.Yuhu, we got SX Shinra, Dong, Madeira, and we have K as well. On paper, I gotta be blunt, man. I think on paper, Myanmar got this in the bag, but hey, let's hope for the best for the East Timor team, Timor-Leste team, right? I think they can also just hopefully bring something to the table and just shine in the game, man, in the game, because it's going to be tough against a team that is not just popular in their country, but also had made their mark in the international stage.
So Gani, we know how Myanmar likes to play, you know, they like to play quick, they like to play fast, early rotations. This is the trend right now in the current meta for a lot of the teams, and the teams that are dominating in their own, you know, countries or regions or leagues have figured out to do that the best. Now, I think the big thing is we have to look at, once we eventually get to that draft for game 1, is one, side selection, because that seems to play still an important role, of course, whether you have that blue side priority or you go for the red side. If they go for the common bans like the Wanwans, which was funny because yesterday we actually had a match where Wanwan, I think it was like the first match really in a while, where Wanwan wasn't banned and it didn't get picked up.
Wow, interesting.
So again, we always have to kind of consider like some of these drafts for some of the teams is also probably in a sense of like, what are they comfortable playing? Not everyone, just because a 1-1 is open, is going to pick it up. But I think that's the main thing. A lot of teams have adjusted to that fast, kind of quick play style right now, where a lot of the first bloods even happen before that first hurdle. But team fighting is the answer. If you want to go ahead and win in the current meta, You got to be able to go and just duke it out, brawl it out, rotate with a team. If not, protect your gold laner, because even yesterday, I feel like that's where we saw. If I was to say one thing, like, and maybe this is for Timor-Leste specifically, as they go into the match, it's to make sure that their gold laner doesn't get bullied in the lane. What I mean by this is, typically you see a lot of Moscovs being picked up. You see a lot of gold laners that can hold their own. That's why sometimes the fighter works too. But let's say the Moskov, you can stay in your lane and do your thing. Harith as well, relatively fine in the early game. But if you get ganked like once or twice even, you're already behind. And so the teams that really struggled against Indonesia, for example, yesterday, that's what Indonesia did. I mean, they had the mindset of, let's go get a couple kills in the gold lane. After that, we'll go anywhere else. And so they delayed that power spike for gold lane happening quicker. They delayed that and were able to rotate in other parts of the map. So I think if you're Timor-Leste, you got to be able to go ahead and protect the gold lane. The gold lane experience needs to be on your side. You need to be able to go ahead and give them that opportunity to farm up and then join those fights later. And that's why, again, so this Moskov is such a common pick, because you can literally stay in the lane or stay somewhere and then just hopefully, you land your Spear of Destruction and then you join the fight.
Yeah, I when you talk about the Moskov, I think it's also it's the reason it's why it's so popular as well, right? I think 2 items you can create an impact 3. It's just Chef's Kiss, and also you can bring multiple spells with him. So the anticipation, right, it's definitely there, and you're right. The SOD, the surprise effect, right? You thought it's a 5v4, you thought it's a 4v3, but then the Moskov comes in to equalize quantity wise, and then suddenly because of the resources that you already spent, the Moskov just could come through cleanly. And you mentioned the early game. I do agree. I think that is also why when you draft, I feel like area of effects, crowd control is going to be those type of elements are going to be a huge factor in dealing with whether you're going for pickoffs approaches, you're going to go for a semi-team fight or full-on team fight, and the players, they need to commit to that draft, right? We've seen a lot of times where they drafted themselves to a team fight composition, more area effects, more crowd control, but then they hesitate when there's a big fight potentially. So I want to see them committing to the drafts. Just follow. You're strong on team fights, so just look for more team fights, man. Hopefully Timor-Leste can come through with the drafts, and also Myanmar can also execute their drafts properly as well.
Oh, we know Myanmar is going to be able to, man. I mean, we've been watching them for a while now. Whether it's these guys from Mythic Seal or not, we just know the Myanmar teams really know how to play. They really like to kind of hone into that play style of theirs that is rather aggressive. Now, there was a point in time, I feel like, when we were more so utility focused, that Myanmar, even in that sense, they still wanted to go ahead and force these team fights and everything else. So this is why I was saying our current meta, our current trend right now for a lot of the compositions is so favorable to a lot of these other regions who maybe had a little more difficult time of the utility era of MLBB, because if you remember, we were in that era for so long that obviously teams honed in the lore dance, like we used to call it, much quicker, or let's say much more solidified in how they wanted to approach that. Whereas now, I would say all of us started out just duking it out. Imagine the first time you started playing Legends, back in, I don't know if it was 2017 like me, but when it first came out, you just wanted to fight, and I think that stays with all of us. So a lot of these teams, like I said, just go for that kind of aggressive style, and Myanmar does that really well. So I think it's up to more so of can Timor-Leste do that as well? Can they match it? Because that's always been our question with these teams, man, against some of these more established teams that we're used to seeing, is are they actually able to go toe-to-toe with these teams on the aggressive level, but not get, not overshoot it or overcommit to the point where they get punished, because we saw glimpses of this yesterday too, when there was moments like there's these little like windows where some of these teams have moments of brilliance, and then it turns into a punishable mistake because they get a little overzealous, you know. So I think that's one of the things that Timor-Leste really needs to kind of keep in mind.
Yeah. Also, I think from the side of Myanmar, right? I mean, yeah, you're on paper, you are the stronger team, but then you mentioned overzealousness. You can't be overzealous, and I think you got to respect your opponent, whether you know, whether you've done your homework or not. And let's see, Timor-Leste, are they going for the reactive approach, or are they going to match the aggressiveness that we both know that definitely can be pulled through from the side of Myanmar, man? I'm excited to see the drafts. You mentioned the hot fixes earlier. I wonder, will it affect significantly in this match, draft-wise, or perhaps we might just be seeing the conventional boxes being prioritized?
What I was hoping for yesterday finally came through, Gani.
Oh.
Like the start of the day,
Gord?
I was like, please, no.
Okay.
I mean, that's always going to be something I hope for, but that wasn't there. It was the Eve. Like, I wanted to see the Eve come through because she had the changes. So
Okay.
maybe this is one of the moments where they go ahead and get to bring the Eve out for this matchup, as we are now in the draft here for game number 1.
Let's go. Timor-Leste taking the blue side here. Myanmar will take the red. It seems like Fanny and Jushin, Timor-Leste doesn't really want to gamble the Fanny possibility, a lot of assassin potential. Okay, be the box man now. So Myanmar is saying, hey, we don't like the boxes. We know that it is still the priority, and you have the first pick, so let's just ban it out. So what will Timor-Leste go for here? Because first pick Arlet,
Still got a lot open,
perhaps. Yisun Shin.
Yisun Shin, if it's open, they do take out the Badang, so I think Timor-Leste wants to go for the YSS. This just seems to be the kind of top priority for everybody, honestly, right now. It's the YSS, who's a little bit busted. I mean, like, there's a little bit of bustedness to the YSS right now. Lancelot, too.
Yeah, you're right. Lancelot is still on the board here, Naisu. Let's see, Myanmar, will they leave both YSS and Lancelot open? And that will be the case. It's going to be the Kalea band out. So asking the question here towards Timor-Leste, what are you going to pick up? YSS or Lancelot?
I hope they go, I mean, for their sake, I hope they take the YSS. Just because, again, I feel like for King Flash it'd be a little bit too much, you know, to take that in that first swing. But then again, we saw King Flash on the Lancelot previously in the days before, and it was quite impressive too. So nonetheless, like, that's always the predicament you find yourself in for this first phase, is really what are we willing to go ahead and prioritize or take up and then trade for that. So they go the CC. This tends to be banned out quite a bit. It has just in, you know, not only here in Iesf, but even in the professional league so far. So they'll go CC. Solid choice for the XP lane. The answer is going to be King Flash's Lancelot over here, which we've seen him, like I said, do phenomenal on. And then they could take the Farsa if they wanted to. Farsa's open unless they want to go a different route, because they could pick up the Farsa in the third pick as well here. So Myanmar up to the game plan. I feel like just grabbing the Lancelot already is just, they're willing to play into the YSS if Timor-Leste takes it here on the swing.
It seems like they're going for the power pick as well. Lancelot and Granger will be locked in for the side of Myanmar. They do not. I think this is a safe pick, right? Because with Granger, you have range. You can anticipate with a Purify as well. CC, I understand that pick, but it lets Myanmar dictate the draft in a sense, right? Because now they picked up themselves the Lancelot, and I guess, if whether you're comfortable or not, the YSS is left. So I don't like that going up against a stronger team on paper. But let's see, Timor-Leste to close out the first phase. I don't mind the Farsa. You mentioned it. It's going to be a range versus range. Going to be tough against a Lancelot, but hey, with perfect peel and coverage, perhaps the Farsa might work. They're going to lock in the Fredrin though, and also the Gatot Kacha. I like this because technically with the Gatot Kacha, it denies the potential Farsa pick from the opponent.
I wouldn't be surprised if Myanmar like still wanted to just pick it up, like just pick that up, or depending on how they want to play into this. So they do go with their XP lane option. They'll pick up the Uranus. This at least provides that front line, that kind of bulwark that you need for, you know, your Granger and your Lancelot, because that's the main thing. So Timor-Leste is more so leaning towards, let's extend these fights. Let's play around our tankiness, especially with the Fredrin here, which is surprising because they did pick this Fredrin into a Lancelot jungle, and that can work if you're able to get the start that you need. The problem is, and we saw this previously, where the Fredrin falls too far behind. Even a little bit of pressure from Myanmar. Do you remember, Gani, Kun, what he did with the Uranus?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you have flashbacks of that, because he was able to just, from like minute one, he was in the side of the enemy jungle in their matches a couple days ago on the same hero. So for Timor-Leste, I hope they saw that. I hope they have a plan to go ahead and deal with Kun, because that is what he's going to do here. And so I think even with these bans, that even the Farsa coming out, Myanmar might just pick like a Kagura or an Aurora. They could actually go that way. They could pick a Selena. Selena is open as well.
Okay.
Which would also give them a little bit of an advantage to work against that start that Timor-Leste is looking for with the Fredrin.
Yeah, I think I don't really. I see your point with the Kagura, but I don't really like it. I prefer the Selena. I really like the poke potential with the Granger, right? Yeah, a lot of heroes that were picked up from the side of Timor-Leste can close the gap, but with the Selena, you know, you can play with the range. You can definitely poke, especially mid games. They're going to lock in a hero that they want first, right? With crowd control, they are definitely lacking with their composition. So at least with the Cho, there's one pick-off potential. Timor-Leste, what are you going to do here? The Lunox and the Irithel immediately, so they do not care. Irithel can rock the Purify. So far, Timor-Leste, they drafted themselves a great composition. Lunox, though, mid-game. Can they survive that early game? Because if not, the Lunox, I don't think can deliver damage.
Hey, man, we saw the Lunox yesterday, and I gotta say, it looked darn good. You know, it was able to burst down. So it was able to burst so much, and that was from Nepal, if I remember right, who played it. So we'll see if they're able to make it work this time. But I think it's going to be enough to even deal with the Uranus. So good choice here. But also the answer from Myanmar is the Kadita. So they've got their own burst hero to go for. Now this could be a pretty deadly combination with the Kadita, but also having that Way of the Dragon. So for, I would say, Timor-Leste, they have to go ahead and be ready for that. They have a great tool though. Like they have a great tool to go ahead and deal with the potential kicks. I'm wondering how many Purifies we'll see though, or if it's still going to be for the Irithel, if you still want to go ahead and take the Sprint or something here, because again, yes, you have mobility and you have the heavy crossbow ultimate to kind of jump on through, but I think that's the main thing. As long as your Irithel doesn't get caught, you're going to be in a good position later game. Now, hopefully they can get to the late game.
Let's see, ladies and gentlemen, as we just jump to the Land of Dawn for our first game. Myanmar takes on Timor-Leste. The question you asked earlier answered. It will not be an Irithel Purify. It will be, though, a Lunox Purify. Going up against the Kadita Cho, I'm quite surprised that the Irithel went for the risk of not using a Purify.
Well, in that sense, it's more so of like, I'll just play around with mobility and my speed. And, you know, that can work too. Again, this is an Irithel. Whoa, whoa. Early damage?
It's going to be the Revitalize. Popped. Boy, pops the Flicker. This might be Timor-Leste just winning the Letho out. Do they have enough health bars? King Flash, great jukes. Not enough to secure the Letho Wanderer, though.
Okay, well, almost first blood there. Taking a look at the emblems. Nothing too crazy. You've got, I want to see what, okay, so you do have this common emblem plus that tenacity for Kun. He's got the Brave Smite too to roll with, so he's going to go ahead and just use that also for dealing with Sari Tail here, this CC. It'll help him in the lane a little bit to go ahead and, you know, pump up some of the damage too, because mostly he just wants to go ahead and build up the itemization early on to tank up a lot of that damage. But, all right, so we're going to have to take a little bit of a pause here while they get things situated. Now, this early rotation, it's a good thing neither team had that first blood. So they're set up for a normal rotation, 30 seconds from that turtle. Then we see who has those level 4s. This is always a thing, because sometimes, you know, they do a pretty good job at making sure that the level 4s are available, especially for the roams, which is, I think, is going to be a big point here for both teams, actually. But now that you have the Cho, I was about to say Mythic Seal, but now that you have the for Myanmar, you know, now that you have Myanmar with the Cho, you want to play around that way the Dragon or the Rough Waves. Those are your two main components to make it work for early game setups.
I mean, in perfect world, both Rome and mid got 4, right? But let's see. I mean, they are able, if they are able to rotate that way, it is going to be very, very tough for the side of Timor-Leste to find an angle, even with a Fredrin, unless perhaps the Gatot Kacha gets a crazy AOG with their time. But ladies and gentlemen, it seems like the match will resume soon, so let's witness here. Just a minute, though. In game, it seems like Myanmar already winning in trades. Territel is low.
Yeah, he's getting pushed, but see, there's a lot of focus up there. Juno should be fine. Wow, the Rhapsody shots. Okay, he's going to take a couple too many shots. He flickers forward. Oh, Juno.
Finds first blood, but it seems like Madeira is able to avenge his team. But what a calculation there from the side of Juno with the flicker. So aggressive. Kun in the mid lane. Tyranno level 4. Oh, flickers out of that as Lunok hits level 4. Now, Oye, not level 4 just yet, but King Flash, enough time to him to get the turtle. It's going to be Myanmar now disengaging. I might be wrong, but Nico looks for an angle there. Sari Tail a little bit too deep. Pops the flicker to safety. Kun, no flicker. That's info. That's a great taunt. Kun will not survive this time. Wow.
Good plays. Good plays there from Timor-Leste. Oh! They'll get the Rough Waves out. Good little save there by Nico. And it looks like, again, bottom side. This is what I was talking about, Gani. I was saying, you know, you got to protect your gold laner. You got to allow them to have that best lane, gold lane experience that they can. And right now, K is not having it. Sitting at 0-2. Earlier on with aggressive flicker play from Juno. And then now off of Boye kicking K. Using that Way of the Dragon to go ahead and secure another kill. So tough for the gold lane right now. Timor-Leste might want to go ahead and do something about that to make sure it doesn't slip too far out of their hands.
Yeah, it's still close, but definitely Myanmar has an edge economy-wise. Top lane, Sari Tail ganked 2 members. Kun, with the Petrify, Sari Tail is still able to sidestep some of the damage, and he is okay. So that gank did not succeed.
Yeah, even using that the Petrify there. So 30 seconds up for this next objective. Juno feeling the heat. Boya is just around the corner, so I think he'll be fine. You can see the rotations happening here too. They'll set things up. But look at the cutting also that's happening here. Kun doing what we expected on that Uranus. Gonna go ahead and cut that wave and then rotate there for that turtle, most likely for this to come up. You still got 10 seconds on the purple buff for Madeira, so I think he's going to want to go ahead and prioritize that. But if he does, they might be a little bit too late for the turtle, because it looks like the positioning is already there, and that's why Yuhu is in position. But you can see Boy is jumping forward. He looks like he did kick Yuhu.
Yeah, that's a free kill there, right there. No setup for the side of Timor-Leste for the second turtle, so I don't think they can. Oh, Madeira is in the vicinity though. Will that be a steal? No. King Flash still clutch with the retribution. Kun doesn't want to commit on towards the fight. That's still a win, a trade, or rather, or a winnable trade for the side of Myanmar. Turtle and a kill.
Yeah, it gets him a little bit further ahead here. Objective, kill in the hands. Kun at some point too, in terms of itemization, he'll just be mostly unkillable except for maybe Shinra on the Lunox. Again, it depends on how much magic resistance he decides to build. You can see he's leading the damage chart right now, though. Juno, yeah, he's going to be fine. He escapes out of that one. And Boya is looking for another possible setup. This is what we always expect when the Cho is on in play. Every single time that Way of the Dragon is available, there's always a window to make a play, make a pick off. Kun is going to go ahead and chop in that wave again, cut it through. And you can see how much focus is on this side of the map. Tail is even here too.
Yeah, it seems like they have committed 4 bodies from the side of Timor-Leste. Myanmar, though, will respond towards the mid. Nico in trouble. Rough race pop. That's going to be revitalized. Committed not to save Gatot Kacha's life, though. That's going to be Shinra now in trouble. King Flash will find a double. Very nasty angle. The killer instinct is definitely there. Now with the taunt, 2-man from the side of Madeira. Oh, not enough to take any members. Now that's the weight of Dragon finding K as Juno finds the kill. 3 members off the board now. Myanmar, they might maintain the pressure in the mid lane. Tail in trouble. Ficker doesn't save him. That's the connection right there from downtown. Juno adds another kill on the board.
Man, a triple for Juno. They take the purple buff. They don't get the mid turret yet, but I think Myanmar is going to be happy with that. They pretty much got everything they wanted to, maybe except the turret in the mid lane, but they're not really too worried about that. Look at the placement now, too, for Nico. I don't know if Nico is going to be able to surprise anyone down there. It looks like the turtle's going to be up, so they swing for this. And now, with that whole sequence in the last minute or so, it gives a healthy lead to Myanmar, where they've just got this power spike available now.
A lot of fire spikes available indeed. Radiant also built, so more magic resistance. Rough waste pop, that's info. Revitalize committed as well. Boye trying to, ooh, great kick as King Flash collects the perfect turtle. That's gonna be Shinchira finding the angle to find a kill, but instantly it will be traded. Now it's gonna be Juno adding another kill on the board. Madeira, not enough damage. 3 members is on him. That's gonna be Madeira running for his life. But King Flash and Juno will seal the deal. That's a double. Man, Skypiercer stacks are on.
They're gonna go for Tail. They might try to just kill Tail under the turret.
Under the turret? Man, that's nasty as Kun. Man, what a connection there. The coordination was just perfect and nowhere to run for Tail.
Yeah, you can see this. Now at this point, Kun is able to go ahead and tank up some of those the bursts with the chaos bolts there, the chaos
Salts.
Hold on.
We're dragging on towards Madeira. No cover, no backup. And that will be the jungler for Timor-Leste. From Timor-Leste, deleted. Now, Myanmar, it seems like the setup here, Boye, very cheeky bush. And they will take things slow now, knowing that in a minute or so, the Lord will be up. Let's just manage our waves so that we have more advantage. It's just 8 minutes in, Naisu. Timor-Leste, they're already turtling and losing turrets left and right.
Yeah, this is the problem if the shields are going to be going down too. Boya with the... Okay, I thought he was going to kick. Just spots out Yoo-Hoop. But yeah, the Chaos Assaults aren't even doing much to Kun anymore. I mean, look at this. He'll take a bunch of attention.
Wow.
Hails on up with the Consecrate, and he'll be fine. So he's at this point, he's kind of like this walking information ward almost for them. And they get the Brilliance out, but this is the thing. They just want this shield. If they can take it, they're going to hold the cannon minion there. But look at Kun.
He's okay. He is okay. Wasting a lot of resources for the side of Timor-Leste. And Lord now is up. Lancelot and King Flash is already on it. It seems like Timor-Leste, they are rotating towards that side, but I don't think they have enough firepower to contest, so they will leave this out. Myanmar, again, with the objective clearance. While Kun is just
crazy.
running, man.
He's running, but look at him. He's top of the damage meter. Uh-oh.
It's going to be great taunt. Boya, though, finds a connection on towards Tail A misposition there. Who revitalized AOG defensively as King Flash jumps in, looks for a kill. King's Flash finds the connection to add that kill on the board. It's going to be 3 members just defending.
See, this is why the Lancelot's so disgusting, man. He's just able to go ahead, you know, use the minions to get into the base and then circle on around and go back out. So they do get these holy shields, except for that bottom one. They're going to go ahead and march towards the base now with the Lord, making its way up top.
Oh,
look at the
shots!
Goodness.
That's just practically one shot Shinshira. That's going to be, again, Myanmar applying pressure. Lord is still marching top lane. That's going to be Timor-Leste.
Oh.
Airborne, the Petrify connects. Ladies and gentlemen, it will not just be a win. It will be a wipe out. And Myanmar takes the first game.
10-26 victory from Myanmar. More than 10,000 gold ahead here. It was a slow burn, I would say. You know, they slowly cooked up to that point, but eventually they dominated the game for game 1 here in this best of 3. I again, in a way, expected from Myanmar to play this cleanly. I think for Timor-Leste, they were really just trying to see if they could make it work, especially with the Fredrin jungle, you know, but we called it in the draft, Gani. I was like, Kuhn is getting the Uranus again, and he played the same way. You know, he was either cutting waves or he was just a big distraction and information tool for Myanmar.
Happen again, even though they tried to at least diffuse or nullify the Uranus with a Lunox, but we also call it in draft. If this Lunox gets ahead or gets behind or too far behind, yeah, the Lunox will not deal enough damage, and we saw that, right? Where Kuhn is still just a walking rock in front of the base of Timor-Leste. Great connections here from the Cho, from Nico as well. Just enabling the last 2 picks from the side of Myanmar really helped them to find this important pickoffs, right? The Cho and the Kadita.
Yeah, it was really, again, only a matter of time, I felt like, till this lineup from Myanmar got to this boiling point that we see here towards this last sequence. I mean, even Juno had multiple stacks on the Sky Piercer. The Kadita from Nico worked so well too, you know, able to go ahead and find the setups with the Petrify and then just the rough waves. And everything just ended up working out. Again, the Lancelot seems to be a big problem too for teams that aren't able to go ahead and like control it from the early portion of the game, because even King Flash, you know, in a way it's like Myanmar just was able to do whatever they wanted through the game. And for Timor-Leste, it was more so of, there was a little bit of hope of that damage with the Lunox, but even K, as I called it, I was like, if you go 0-2 early on in the gold lane, you're going to struggle right now in the current meta. And that's exactly what we saw Myanmar do. I was saying teams that have that experience and veterancy right now and really understand the current meta that we're in, they'll do that. They'll put pressure on that gold lane to just put you behind. So then the Timor-Leste almost is in a sense where it like kind of jukes the thought process, because it's like, all right, let's go make sure our gold lane is okay, but then you forget about the objectives, or you can't go and focus on the objectives so much. So then those just freely go over, as we saw here from Myanmar. You know, King Flash half the time was just freely taking turtles, or the Lord, for example. And so, again, it was this kind of compounding effect here that we saw in game 1, where Myanmar just, you know, it was a slow cook, and then all of a sudden, boom, next thing you know, they're, you know, winning in 10.5 minutes there.
I think the amount of economy doubled when, minute 7? It was a very, it was just 2K, perhaps 3K tops, and then it's at least 6, 7 in a minute or 2, and that is what Myanmar can do, man. When they know they got the power spikes, when they know when they don't forget about manipulating waves, wave management objectives, and all behind from the side of Timor-Leste, unfortunately. So let's see. I don't think the Lancelot should be left open from the side of Myanmar, from the side of Timor-Leste, but man, that was our first game. So I wanted to see what is going to happen next for game 2. Nice2 and Gani will be back. Stay tuned for game 2, Myanmar taking on Timor-Leste. boys. Relatively fast first game for our opening match there. Myanmar got the point, Timor-Leste on the back foot, and we are opening up for our second game. Will it be a sweep? Will they be able to force a game 3? Back with us, Gani and Naisu, and it was another showing from King Flash and friends, Naisu.
It was, man, and like you mentioned, it was a quick one. It was 10.5 minutes. We kind of expected that from Myanmar. A lot of the times when we've had these games shown on stream, we've had some of these powerhouse teams. I would consider Myanmar one of those powerhouse teams that a lot of people look forward to seeing compete on an international level. And they played the game how we really predicted it to be. I mean, that was one of the main things, especially when they were in the draft and they got the Lancelot. They were on the red side. I'm not sure if there's going to be a changing of sides for the next draft here, but the main thing is, again, how do you slow down any team that likes to play aggressively and choose these battles early on? There was a moment, man, in the early game where Timor-Leste, they were so close to getting a first blood. If you remember, even Myanmar, they had to burn some of the battle spells in that first interaction. And I just wonder if that was the case where they had gotten a first blood for Timor-Leste, maybe it would have been better, because again, your Fredrin is going to be a little bit slower to build up. You have to play around that setup potential with a Cho and a Kadita. Those were two really solid last picks, by the way, from Myanmar, because it gave the basically all the solution they needed to make it work, in the sense of we don't have to worry too much about a front line because it's a Uranus. So I think if I had to throw something out there that Timor-Leste should do, they should take the Uranus away from Kun. They have that front line to go ahead and cut those waves, or just be a nuisance and provide information. And that makes the job with the Kadita so much easier, Gani. If you know where everybody is, because Kun is just 1v5ing everybody on this Uranus, then at least you don't have to go blindly check bushes or anything else. You know exactly where they are, and you can spot them out and use that full combination. So, and then speaking of, Juno too. Juno was just popping off in the Granger. So hopefully this changes. It looks like so far it's going to be very similar bans. Timor-Leste might think of something different. They prioritized the CC previously, and I don't think, again, if you take the CC, you're almost faced with the problem of seeing that Uranus again. And that was that's where things really started. Because even if it wasn't the Lancelot for King Flash, the YSS was still available. You could still go with Hayabusa if you wanted to, and that's kind of what I expect from King Flash here. So, so far, I think that's the biggest thing that Timor-Leste has to kind of recalibrate for Game 2.
Yeah, I think the Uranus and they're both and again, so far very similar drafts banning wise from the side from Game 1. Myanmar here, what do they go for? It's gonna be I believe it's going to be the Kalia again, right? Now again, just asking a question, what will you do with this Uranus? What will you do with the Lancelot? Will you take it away for that first pick, or will you let Myanmar
take the Lancelot?
Take the Lancelot, man. Just take the Lancelot.
Don't give it to either that or the Uranus. Okay, I took the Lancelot. Okay, so this could just be YSS, anything really, because you could also pick up the Uranus right now if you wanted to. YSS for your jungler since it's still open, but also even if you want to go with the Farsa, for example, or the Selena, some really good options here just in general, or Granger again. Just pick up your Granger for your gold lane pick if you want to go ahead and give that to Juno. So they'll pick up the XP, they'll take the Phovius for now. They know that they can wait for the YSS on the third pick if they really want to. So we'll see. All right, they'll take it up now. So YSS Phovius.
Wow, it seems like they will take no time. I thought they are going to be patient on that YSS pick, pick another hero, but it seems like they do not want to show their cards yet. They're waiting on the heroes that will be picked up here from the side of Timor-Leste and then respond. Now, Timor-Leste, what will it be? Was it going to be another CC? Because technically no Uranus available here with the Phovius picked up. CC, and perhaps Gatot Kacha, I don't know. I think Gatot Kacha can still work, but it seems like they will go for that high loss route, right? Because it's tanky, can win you games level 2, strong, doesn't really need to have level 4. If you have level 4, good for that first real fight, but with the Eve, it
I'm happy.
it will have a lot of slow, man. With the high loss, with the Eve, the team fight control, it's not going to be a crowd control thing, but it's going to be the slow effects. It can haunt Myanmar.
I'm glad they at least took the Eve. You would get to see it in action again. Eve went through a little bit of a buff for those that aren't aware. So Eve was buffed up a little bit here. Also, the Hylos being there, I think it could work. It could give them a good grounds to cover, especially with the Glorious Pathway, but it was a good answer from Myanmar. You know, the Farsa was open. They'll take it. They get that burst damage. It also works really well with what we've seen. Why the Farsas work so well is because even just a feathered airstrike or 2 is enough to go ahead and soften up the lineup opposing that. And that's where, again, the YSS is he's a little cracked right now, man, because even with the Mountain Shocker, you get that little stun, but then good damage too. And it seems to be a problem for a lot of people because you're not safe under your turrets, and that's one of the big things here. Now, with a YSS and a Phoveus, even Phoveus can jump into turrets himself because he can tank up quite a bit. You know, the pressure here for Timor-Leste is actually, once again, it's the same story, man. They got to also be careful with the gold lane. K needs to be activated for this game. And these 3 picks from Myanmar already put enough pressure to wherever they decide to go on the map, and especially around objectives here. So something to keep note of for Timor-Leste is really hoping that their gold lane is going to be okay. Now, again, you can maybe play into the real manipulation a bit from that, but again, we'll have to see how they do that. A lot of these gold laner bans are coming through, though. Harith, Claude, 1-1, Granger is gone. Is Timor-Leste going to go and ban one more gold lane? That'll make a very interesting gold lane pick for both the teams. You could still go Bruno. Bruno could work for Timor-Leste. You could also go for... who else have we seen recently?
Eruthal is still on the board. Moskov is still on the board as well.
Moskov, yeah.
I think can be picked up here from side of Myanmar just to have that far lane control. But yeah, you mentioned the pressure, right? With the Farsa also, it just provides a lot of burst power, which can be threatening towards the side of Timor-Leste. Let's see your first pick on that second phase. I don't mind a hero that can crowd control, and there you go. It's going to be the Badang picked up from the side of Myanmar. We saw what Juno, or Boye rather, on that roam could do with the Cho. Now, imagine that, but with a slight of area effect with that fist track. So it can definitely be a nuisance towards the side of Timor-Leste. What will they go for here for that gold lane? Seems like Myanmar, they're pretty confident here, waiting to pick up their own gold laner.
Yeah, there it is. Oh man, we saw this yesterday.
Wow, Natan.
Yeah, and it wasn't that good.
Ouch.
Lapu Lapu's great. I will say Lapu Lapu is still my favorite XP laner right now currently. Pumps out enough damage, tanks up enough damage, and could work really well with the lineup that they have. The Nathan is just not, like, for me, I don't know. I'm not really feeling the Nathan here. Maybe yesterday just wasn't a good day for it. Now, K could make this work, I feel like. Essentially, it's going to be the same thing, though. You got to be able to go ahead and protect this. Now, on the other side, maybe a Bruno for Myanmar. There it is. Bruno comes through. Seems to be the obvious answer because it's still the same concept of let me just click and do damage. You know, like that's what Bruno does best. He only needs like a couple items, where even a Nathan, to get that full like Nathan combo that people are used to seeing, he needs time. He needs time to definitely get to that point where he's online. And I think given how the last game went, Myanmar is looking for a quick game again. And if they're able to go ahead and get the momentum, the snowball going early on, even when it comes to the first couple turtles, Timor-Leste is going to be in trouble. But I will say this. Timor-Leste has a good objective fighting lineup.
Mhm,
The
mhm.
only problem I see is if you're not able to utilize the Lancelot. Again, you prioritized and took this, so you have to be able to utilize the kid on that Lancelot, the damage he can do, and maybe count a little bit on Tail here, because K won't be pumping out a ton of damage early on.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if they can get to that mid to late game, then I think Timor-Leste will actually be in a good fighting position against Myanmar.
Yeah, man, I can't wait and just jump into the Land of Dawn. And I do want to add though that yeah, with the Yves and the Natan, technically they survived that early game, right? Their defense is very, very strong. With the Yves, with the Natan, it can shred lords. It can give you options or avenues to perhaps find a turnaround. But let's see, will it be another fast game? You mentioned that Myanmar wants to get the snowball rolling. Will they be able to do so? Line of Dawn, ladies and gentlemen, welcome and witness game number 2 between Myanmar and Timor-Leste.
Okay, and looking at the emblems here, hold on, a little fight for the Lith Wanderer. Get the Revitalize out.
Yeah, King Flash finds the Lethal Wanderer again, so no real threat. But taking a look at the emblems here, okay, seems like the Farsa. Wow,
You'll pull yourself
interesting.
together, a little
PYT,
rupture, you know.
Yeah.
Yep. So, and that tells us that a lot of times Nico is going to be using the flicker probably aggressively too, man, to be honest. But we have seen, you know, it's also a good use of it, using it defensively, where you make some more space when you're in that feathered airstrike and you flicker backwards. We've seen that plenty of times, but I think even that mystery shop there for the Nate and, of course, for K is going to be great. I hope, again, that K's able to just go ahead and have a way better time, because you can see, even in the lane, K's struggling against Juno.
Yeah, it's already, they gotta wait. They gotta play this right here, especially for K. Bottom side though, that's already Tail popping with flicker, so that's info. No Bravest Fighter flicker play for that first turtle fight. And seems like Myanmar here taking it slow. Yves or Shinra already in a good position to provide info. Oh, great awareness day by Nico. Feather airstrike pop. Real world manipulation as well. Now the damage though this time will be enough. Shinra finds a solo in the river. Now it's a 2v2. I don't think Myanmar can take this fight now. Mountain Chalker pop. Seems like with the first crack, Tail will be deleted. Seems like they beg to differ. Glorious defensively, but the damage will be enough to take them down. What a recovery from Myanmar.
Oh, the glorious pathway dropped down, and then with a fist crack, you run into a wall. That feels bad for Yoo-Hoo, man. Again, a fight from Myanmar. They get the objective. Juno battling out with K still.
Almost solo. That's a flicker burn. Take a look at Badong.
Oh, yeah.
Take a look at Boye there. Oh my goodness. With the flicker himself. He will seal the deal. Now seems like Timor-Leste, they will avenge his teammate. Boye, no flicker. That's the info. Yoo-Hoo, Law and Order, not really there. So Myanmar, yeah, no counterplay from the side of Timor-Leste. Bottom side's a 1v1. Oh my goodness, that's another solo. A lot of solo kills are occurring here on the board.
Gani. How many 1v1s are we seeing here, man? Oh, here's another one. Oh,
you might see another one. Law and Order, though. Doesn't really connect. Nico pops the flicker. Not giving the solo kill this time. But yeah, what an opening, man. What an opening. 4 minutes in, we got total 5 kills already.
This is what I was saying. You know, Myanmar would play like this. And you can see K forced again to the turret. So help K out, please, Timor-Leste. Because Juno, go ahead and build things up. You can see that feathered airstrike already being used. This is what I was expecting from Nico too. So for them, oh no.
It's 2v1. Juno almost finds an angle to take K down. Luckily, Yoo-Hoo was there to give out HP a little with the Revitalize. K in an awkward positioning there. K will deal damage. Oh, the stun, the outplay, but Boye was there to provide the cover. Great action there provided by the 2v2 top lane.
Does Juno have... What's the first item on Juno? He's looked like he just flickered. Up top on the top lane, they're going.
Oh, Feather Airstrike, Yuhu. Oh my goodness, Shinra this time will fall. That's gonna be Yuhu now, very low.
Oh.
Nico finds the burst damage, enough to complete his double kill.
And they're not letting up at all. Myanmar knows their advantage. They're finding it all across the map. They're gonna get another objective. I mean, this early on, you get yourself a really healthy lead already. You can see the lane swap too. Juno's gonna be down here on the bottom side now for Serietail.
Gotta be careful. That's enough to force Serietail his own flicker.
Oh no, K.
Yeah, that's gonna be K. Oh, what? Off-camera kill with Kuhn arriving there, and that's gonna be a turret almost taken down. Can we say it's
Into
down?
the arms of Kuhn, man.
Yeah, Kuhn, the switcheroo between the EXP goal laners, perfectly timed. 5 minutes in.
Yeah, 5 minutes in. They knew to make the play up top. They're gonna get that tier 1 down too. So this is where Myanmar continues to shift it into a higher gear. So with the first turret going down, they open up the map, make it 2. There's a Feather Airstrike.
Oh no, even with Revitalized, Yuhu wasn't able to survive that pressure, that burst damage. And 5v4 now. Do they want the mid? Seems like so. No spells available, I feel like, except apart from K. Yeah, boy, very cheeky
Conceal?
positioning. That's going to the fist crack landing. Shinra taken down first, and that's going to be the mid turret. Myanmar gets another objective on the board.
This is much more dire, I would say, in game 2 than it was for game 1. Timor-Leste, just something about this isn't clicking for them. You can see that too. A lot of the first items just being built here for Timor-Leste. Feather of Heaven for Nathan. That's what I was saying. I don't really like it because it takes a while to go ahead and build up. And you know, when you're gapped like this, you know, you're 1,000 gold behind. Tough position to be in. And you, like I said, you got to rely on the team to help you out. So gonna be kind of forced to just farm up what he can. But look at this.
Oh no, nowhere to run. K stunned up. Now Shinra in trouble. Flickers out, but Kuhn is there to provide the demonic force or the infernal pursuit, and that will be enough though for Shinra to survive. Seems like the neutral objective will be their main focus here from side of Myanmar, and no play whatsoever from Timor-Leste. Just a kill so far.
Yeah, Turtle's gonna go down, but this is the pressure on the purple buff.
I don't think they can do this, man. Glorious Pathway will not be able to save Yuhu. Another kill on the board, man. Myanmar is so deadly. Shinra stun, no, great juke so far. Not enough to burst him down just yet. Timor-Leste, man. Definitely here. We might see a faster game.
Potentially. I mean, they still have to work through the holy shields, but oh no.
Yeah. It's just another kill, man. Madeira caught there. But man, Myanmar, very sharp execution so far.
It's very clean. At this point, I mean, they're so far behind this early on, Gani. I'm not sure what Timor-Leste can really do in this one because of the lineup. And I usually look for those moments where it's like, all right, there's this that they can do. They can hold on. But, I mean, this is a Nathan and a struggling Lancelot. Shinra, too, can only do so much with the real manipulation. I mean, look at the burst damage that comes through with a single feathered airstrike even.
That's the thing, man. And Nico, his positioning, his timing, splendid so far. Base turret bottom side, the passive will be triggered, the Holy Shield. And seems like Myanmar, they will tone things down. They know that 40 seconds, the lower is up. And all they got to do is just keep it tight, man. Timor-Leste, all they can do is just hope for blunders. Not just one, but multiple comes out of Myanmar.
So they did the work. They got one of the shields down. They're 20 seconds away from that Lord coming up here. And they'll try to push in the top wave, I guess, because they know that they're confident enough to go ahead and take down the shield at least. Because if they do take down all these shields, again, it looks like it's only this top one left, that first Lord push is a game-winning push for them. So they will clear this out. Desperately needs more gold. Be falling behind here on Juno's itemization, so this is going to be easily secured though for Myanmar. I don't think Timor-Leste is able to do mission that here once that K is going to do that, but they're going to force a fight.
Oh, the angling, the connection there was just perfect. No Shinra. Seems like Madeira is also in the no man's land. 2 members deleted here before the Lord marches in the mid.
Yep, they should be up in time by the time this Lord does get there, but Myanmar is going to go ahead and focus in both these lanes. Actually, all 3 lanes will be pushing in. That shield will clear out the minion wave there, but I don't know, man. I'm not even sure if they're able to go ahead and defend this because, again, Feathered Airstrike is just going to drop down. Here it is.
Feathered Airstrike will lock Shinra down, will make him reposition. Bottom tier turret will fall. That's going to be Myanmar just taking it slow here. Lord in the base. Can Timor-Leste clear this one out? Terry-tail finds a connection, but no follow-up as the damage will be enough to take Terry-tail down. Top lane will be their main focus now as Myanmar waits for another wave to apply more pressure. And their airstrike is okay, very low. That's going to be you who canceled out. Looking for a kill. That's going to be another kill for Myanmar. And ladies and gentlemen, it was 10:30 for game 1. Seems like it just 10:48. Myanmar takes game 2.
Another very quick, decisive victory from Myanmar here as they sweep the series against Timor-Leste. Took them, 10 seconds longer than the previous game, but again, it was, one of those things where it's just like the writing was on the wall for Myanmar because, again, the big gaps here were in the draft this time. It was almost to the sense where, again, we've seen it before, and we've seen teams like turn things around, even 10,000 gold behind, but that's with very specific lineups capable of doing that. And unfortunately for this lineup that Timor-Leste brought to the table, you just don't have those options. I'm sure there's a world where Nathan works and is able to get there, but you can't have that kind of early game that we had here for K. And so it's unfortunate because even Madeira, like you have this Lancelot and you weren't able to do much with it, right? Yeah. Because a lot of times you got caught, and that's why the Badang is so good at stopping flow and rhythm of these lineups. With the fist crack, fist break combo, it worked so well, and it just stops the idea of the Lancelot or even the Hylos. Like we saw that glorious pathway drop down, and then boom, he's running into his own into a wall, from Boya. So it was really difficult here for just across the board. As much as I like to see the Eve, again, a real-world manipulation is not going to save you, even if Eve herself has been buffed recently. Even the Lapu is struggling. You have the War Axe, and that's about it. That's why we saw Tail just get blasted, with this. When we're so used to seeing a Lapu be much more durable and able to soak up so much more damage, that was not the case here.
That was not the case, and even though we saw the only kill being a solo from Shinra towards Nico, it seems like Nico was able to create more impacts with the Farsa in this game. 10 minutes, 48, we mentioned it already. And yeah, just another clean game. All roles just did their job description perfectly. Mid, Boya just covering and initiating when needed. Kun, without the Uranus, Kun can definitely still rock the Phobia. 704, noteworthy play as well. And King Flashy's just doing his job, man. Just jungling and also just providing info with the Mountain Shocker. Another clean, solid game from the side of Myanmar. Expected 2-0.
Yeah, very expected for us here and for our viewers out there that have been watching Myanmar for a while. We know that they are a team, they are a region, they are a group of players that are capable of basically holding their own against some of the best teams in the world right now currently for Mlbb. So again, GG's to Timor-Leste. Again, when we have teams like this, I always want to go ahead and say, hopefully they were able to go ahead and fighting a team like this, they're able to go ahead and learn from that and, do better in the future.
Hey, Naisu, hopefully so, right? Hopefully they can bounce back. Hopefully they keep grinding. But that was just the first series, ladies and gentlemen. We'll end 2-0, and we still have another. So, guys, please stay tuned because next It's going to be another banger. Another best of 3. Cambodia will be in it. Just stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Donnie and Iesf and Iesf will be right back.
And we are back after the about an hour break, so I hope everybody got a chance to go ahead and hydrate, get some food in you. I surely did, and I know Gani, he's waiting to do that. But once again, I'm Naisu, this is Gani, and we're here to bring you the last match of today. Yes, it's only 2 matches for day number 5 here, Gani, and ahead of us. Well, before we talk about the matchup ahead of us, the last match, if you guys had missed it, was a very dominant series for Myanmar. It was Myanmar versus Timor-Leste.
Yes.
Gani, what do you think? What do you think of the last matchup?
Hey, it was just direct, so clean from the side of Myanmar, of course. They were able to they were able to find the right drafts. They were able to dictate not just from the execution, but from the drafts as well. They were able to translate their draft to their execution. Early game, it was a clean one as well. I have to say, I think they got all 6 turtles, so that speaks something. And for Timor-Leste side, man, unfortunately, there were adjustments, especially coming from game 2 with the Lancelot pickup, but they weren't able to pull off. But now, I'm excited to see what will Cambodia bring to the table, because Myanmar, as expected, will Cambodia, who is stronger on paper, deliver this time?
That's what I'm gonna say. You know, it's more or less the same story. It's been that story here for a lot of our online matches for Iesf Asia and Oceania qualifiers. It's been a team that has, you know, been familiar with us and the community out there watching, versus, you know, teams that maybe not so many people know about. Now, Cambodia is one of those teams, for those that aren't familiar, they are the boys from CFU Gaming. We'll introduce their rosters later on, but essentially, we know them. Like, we know how they like to play, just like we mentioned with Myanmar in the last one. Now, for Guam, for a lot of people that have been following ISF, I would say are familiar with, you know, Guam in general and how they have approached ISF. Now, of course, they do a lot of competitions within their own, but you know, we like to see them here on the international stage. This is a team roster, like I was saying, for Cambodia. Very familiar names here for everybody. It's Opie, Detective, Singh, Wadu, and Boxy. And, you know, for a lot of our viewers out there, and even for us, Gani, we saw them just recently in the concluded MSC.
Yeah, it seems like they were able to create them, have their mark in an international stage multiple times already. Meanwhile, for Guam, let's welcome Kai, Secret, Slopez, Zukato Zen, and Hezu. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Guam. And again, let's hope that Kai and friends are able to bring something unique, especially like
what would that something be, Gani?
From
what would that be? What would something unique?
I would love to see some unique picks from Guam. You know, just a taste of Guam. Maybe we can see a Gord. You know, maybe that's their meta. Maybe that's their main thing, main mid laner. Hey, bring something new to the table. Sure. You know,
what's your personal wish list?
Personal, just more Kufras, man. I think that's plain and simple.
Just more Kufras.
More Kufras. Here and there, maybe not first phase, but second phase, you know, because we tend to see a lot of the assassins, especially in this patch. And I feel like with a lot of like hero with mobility, a lot of hero with with, you know, slices and dices and one dashes, right? Kufra can definitely negate that, nullify that movement. So yeah, I want to see more Kufras, but I do expect Baxia still is the priority. We saw that banned out. We saw him banned out. We saw the Baxia banned out twice in both games. So, FYI though, in case you guys are wondering, Thailand versus Brunei, it's done. Thailand won. So let's see. An off-stream match as well. It's going to be Vietnam versus Laos. So keep an eye out.
We're gonna have to keep an eye out again for all our viewers out there. If you really want to go ahead and keep track of everything, you can head on over to isf.gg, and that is where the information is put out much quicker than anywhere else. I think even faster than for us here, you know, Gani. But spoken like a true Kufra main. This guy has 3,000 plus games on Kufra, by the way, for anybody that was wondering why he's hoping for a Kufra pick. Very equivalent to me, always hoping on the back end of my brain that, you know, Gord gets to come up as someone who also has 3,000 plus games on Gord. But one of the things is that yesterday we actually got to see a Kufra. I know you weren't casting with us, with me and Leo, but we actually got to see a Kufra. If I remember right, it was Nepal that played it. It was one of those picks that got chosen. Was it? It might have been one of the other teams, but it was Nepal. But it was against a Fanny, and that seems to be, one of those go-to answers to deal with the Fanny. But yeah, I think Kufra still fits pretty well in the current meta. Interestingly enough, too, yesterday, for those that missed it, we had our very first Savage of the Iesf Asia and Oceania qualifiers, too. Can you guess who that was, Yanni? Can you just throw out a random guess?
Let me think. Joe? Is it Joe?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, there you go.
Wait, we say Jew. Is it Joe or Jew?
I think it's Joe. It's Joe.
But he's got like 8. He's got like 6 O's.
That's the troll, man. That's a troll.
That's the troll.
It's Joe,
okay.
Man. I don't think it's Jew.
You.
I don't think it's Jew, bro. I don't think it's Jew. That's all I can say.
I'll trust you.
Yeah.
I'll trust you on that because yeah, he got a first. Well, it was funny because in that game he got a Savage, and then if I remember right, Kabuki got a Maniac, all in one game. So that was our first one of ISF.
Set after set, then.
That's what I'm saying, though, man. Like, that's why we need these teams. I know we're waiting for the draft here, but that's why we need the teams, for me personally, to just get rid of the Lancelot. Like, just get rid of him. I know teams are still picking him, or they're trading it for the YSS, but get rid of the Lancelot. Or the other way that you make it work, and we've seen a couple teams do this now to go ahead and stop that, is literally just to put pressure in the jungle in that early rotation. But even so, like, he's just kind of weird, It's like, even when he's down, Lancelot's still able to do some pretty cool things. So I almost expect his kit to eventually feel a little bit of the nerf hammer later on. But we're jumping to the draft here, guys. We've seen this, we saw this yesterday, too. I was wondering, because I was
Karina
like,
Bandal?
Leo. Yeah, I was like, Leo, what is this? Like, why is it the Karina? And, I think it's just something specific to Guam here. Again, big shout outs to Guam. They're all really fun players and happy and go lucky players. We've got to meet some of them and, of course, their staff behind them last year. And it was great to see them. So this is, again, another monumentous task against who they have to face against. And hopefully they can go ahead and maybe potentially get us to a 3-game series here.
Yeah, let's see. It seems like, though, they will respond with a Lancelot, man. You mentioned you went pretty vocal on, like, you just fan up Lancelot. Using it if it's not a power pick for your team, just ban it out. It seems like they will do that. And yeah, Kalia banned out. So now, will the Fanny resurface? Will other priority picks be available? Because I think Guam here, what their approach should be is just be more reactive, right? I think Cambodia, similar to Myanmar, they're gonna play aggressive. So if you can draft yourself a comfortable early game, there's a great power spike in the mid game, I think you can do well. And match 1, protect your gold laner, man.
That seems to be what a lot of teams need to figure out. Like, if they haven't figured it out yet, protect your gold laner. And I did say, like, when we were watching Guam previously, like, they opted for the Moskov. Like, that seemed to be more of the comfort that they went for, especially for Slope Ezzy. And I think that can be a similar situation where if the Moskov is open, we can kind of expect him. It's either that or the Granger. But one of the bigger things that Guam could have improved on from their matches yesterday was securing that jungle rotation. And this is going to be like the answer for a lot of teams right now. In this case, it's Zukato Zen. Zukato Zen, a lot of the times, he fell behind in the early game. And teams will go ahead and punish that if you're not careful enough. So whatever jungler they decide to pick, which, by the way, the YSS is going to be open here. So there's a potential that it's Cambodia's priority. If that's the case, then Guam has to kind of think, what are we going to pick to deal with the YSS? If I remember right, even yesterday, like, if they go for utility, for example, or the Fredrin, which we've seen a couple times, good ban, so they take it out, is if they fall behind, I feel like they almost put themselves in the situation where they're trying to force things to catch up. But with the Baksha being the next best option, with Lancelot and YSS being taken out, this might just be a Fredrin game. We might actually be throwing it back a little bit here with Guam if they do decide to pick up a Fredrin in the first phase.
We might see a Fredrin, or if they want to perhaps go on a little unconventional way or route. We have seen this multiple times as well, Akai, right? We have seen numerous times where Baksha meets up Akai, but let's see, the Fredrin seems the most natural response. And yeah, I mean, Baksha, the thing is, Baksha, why is it such a priority? It's still a flex, right? You can go for the roam route, so Guam needs to keep that in check. Seems like they're taking their time here, so they will lock in 2 heroes, and that is going to be the Hylos and the Granger. So yeah, what they want here is someone that can sandbag you and perhaps with Revitalize can support you with that health, and someone that can poke from range. It can work, but they again just gotta keep their distance here, because when the Granger doesn't really get his Sky Piercer stacks, that Granger can not be lethal. I mean, not be lethal in a sense. And that is going to be the task for Cambodia.
Okay. So I want to see if this is going to be your jungle option in the first phase, if they decide to go ahead and take potentially the Fredrin here. Unless you are, you know, Zucata Zen can play an assassin like Hayabusa or something else. Maybe the Alpha. I know we haven't seen the Alpha, I think, at all here on the online matches, but this is already a great start for Cambodia. You know, they secure themselves a split lane pushing hero in the Moskov. They've got a great fighter in the Lapu Lapu, still my #1 XP laner right now. And then, of course, you have the Baksha. So the rotational speed is going to be amazing. And so if you're Guam, you kind of got to hope that you can stop that from getting too out of hand. So last pick here for this first phase for Guam. There it is. As I expected, it's going to be the Fredrin.
It's going to be the classic Fredrin Baksha matchup. In this current patch, I do favor the Baksha slightly because of his natural passive. Mind you, there's that free dominance ice-ish still in his kit that might come in handy. Let's see here, Guam first or second phase ban rather. What will they ban? I don't like the burst mid laner, so I expect them to perhaps limit some. Yeah, the Farsa, they do have that first pick in that second phase, so will they take a risk? Perhaps, yeah. I think they will operate other heroes, right? Because they do have that first pick. So seems like they're gonna opt for that Jushin eliminated. They're just gonna eliminate that, and yeah, seems like they want to secure their Farsa their own. Mind you, though, a lot of heroes from the side of Cambodia as of now that can close the gap with the Lapu Flicker, with the Baksha Shield Unity looking from angles. If they do want to commit to that Farsa, that positioning needs to be pristine.
That's a good question too, is what will they put in the XP lane? As you see the Arlot taken out here. Uranus is still available if Guam wanted to go ahead and pick that up. I think still, because you have a Fredrin and a Hylos already, you might want something that can go ahead and battle it out a little bit more, you know, against the Lapu Lapu here. I know we haven't seen too much of like the Esmeralda, for example, but also the Glue might be decent. Again, if you go that route, if you go something like the Glue or something that's a little more durable in the XP lane, then the game plan shifts for Guam to, all right, let's just play 4-1. And that 4-1 concept is really playing into your gold lane. Now, if that's the plan, it can work, but as we've seen before, teams will just focus down that gold lane a couple times and then scale up from there. So also the mid lane is going to be a big pick for them. It's funny how much Selena has swept through our drafts even today, because a lot of those teams still like to go ahead and pick up a Selena just because of the vision, and then of course the arrows that stun, like one of the longest, if it's not the longest stun in the game, the Abyssal Arrow here. So last ban Do they let the Farsa go through, or does Cambodia want it? Okay, they're going to focus on a roam.
Yeah.
Interesting that they take out the Matilda. Maybe they're thinking the potential for, I don't know, the Hylos to be flexed into the XP lane.
Yeah. Yeah.
And again, it's one of those just great heroes that pairs well with the Fredrin. So just to cover the grounds, they'll take out the Matilda.
They don't want to take that risk, right? The combination of Matilda Fredrin is still annoying. You mentioned the mobility from Cambodia, so with the Matilda, it might actually equalize on that mobility. So the Farsa, will they take that risk as well, right? The bravest fighter is going to be annoying for Guam if they do lock in that Farsa, and it seems like they will take their time on that mid laner lock-in. They want to lock in the Cho first. They do need perhaps crowd control. I agree, and it seems like it's still up in the air. Will this Cho go mid or EXP? Can go both ways. Seeing like this, I prefer Cho EXP Hylos Cho Roam Hylos EXP. But hey, let's see. Cambodia, they will lock in that Eve. I like this. It's a great addition because technically with the real world manipulation to play around with, it will have that Ox set up during neutral objective fights, during big team fights, and with the Angela, man, it is going to be nasty. That hard guard can go through Lapu, Baxia, and even Moskov in the late game.
Oh no! As soon as I saw the Angela pop up, I was like, oh no, now I'm worried. I'm worried here for Guam because you just don't have enough to like go through that early damage. Oh, okay. I'll take that back now because I was wondering what it would be to get through that sustainability, that healing, the shielding, and everything else with this Angela here, and also just how kind of durable this lineup from Cambodia is. So Guam's answer to it is the Gushin. How do we feel about the Gushin here?
Gushin mid lane, it's a high risk, high reward hero, man. I don't like it against Baxia, I don't like it against Lapu, but I do like it going against Angela. If she overextends, I like it against Iesf. The Iesf, it's a good target when during real world manipulation, since it's just static. Moskov a little bit trickier to catch, but hey, again, we mentioned that I want to see unique heroes from the side of Guam. It seems like they heard and they listened and they pulled through. Gushin last pick. Yeah.
They heard, man.
They heard, man. They heard it.
Gushin last pick is a huge risk, I would say. There's got to be some finesse here in a sense to make this work. So I'm all for it, though, Gani. I'm all for it. Bring out another hero to the mid lane. Also, running the Petrify. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to our last match for day number 5, Iesf Asia and Oceania qualifiers. It's down to this for Cambodia versus Guam. Will Guam get one of their very first victories here, or will Cambodia, the team of, for a lot of us that are known as CFU, will they make it forward a little bit further? Whoa, Boxy's actually quite low. He must have taken, so the Petrify wasn't used from Secret. But yeah, a good little early aggressive start. Whoa. So Ezzy is on the roam now. So Hezu actually went to the goal lane. This is different from yesterday.
Totally different. Yeah, it seems like both teams are just going at it here earlier on. That's going to be lethal. Not contested from the side of Guam, actually. Cambodia will take that one. Baxia already in the jungles of Guam, so that's not a good sign. If you're the Fredrin, you do want to have that farming pattern smoothly for Fredrin's side. Shieldheart here with no revitalize, zoned out. It's actually a freeze lane, top lane. Emblem check. It is going to be a bargain hunter there for the Gushin. Oh, they might want to force this.
Oh, looks like they might. Zukato, Zen, gonna be in trouble. Not level 4 yet either. Does slide through, but there it is. First blood going in the hands of Opie. They're in this side of the jungle, and now Guam scrambling here to not fall this far behind early game. Now, you're seeing the amount of gold that they already have, too. Secret, gonna be the next to go. He's gonna get stunned and wrapped up by Boxy. So Boxy picking up a kill. That focusing mark really helps, man. That's 6%. Is it 6%? 6%, I think it is. Still of extra damage that comes through that focusing mark.
And it's still early game, so that 6% is, you can feel it. You can feel it, especially later on as well. But it seems like no contest whatsoever. It's a free neutral objective for Cambodia.
Yeah, look at this. Once again, Mlbb going to be in trouble. Not even level 3. It does flicker. Boxy, though, on the run. Gets him with the little love wave. Popping out the damage. Still working for more. They're going to be able to take the orange buff, too. And now Shield Heart in trouble. Spirit Destruction already used. But, man, this is already not looking good. You're looking at, what, 3,000 gold for Cambodia?
Yeah, it's not looking good indeed. Three minutes in, that's the problem, Naisu. And it's a mountain already for Guam, right? With this sort of composition, with Gushin, with Fredrin, you want to have early snowball, which they do not have. And again, they are already in the jungles, just contesting, man.
Oh, no. Zukato Zan under the tier 2. Can't escape. Look at the heart guard. They have multiple levels on everybody from Guam. And this has gone from bad to worse. Hezu taking a couple shots, but Detective will take another buff. They already got all this gold, too, on this plating. They're going to crash in. Shield Heart going to get thrown into the wall. Spirit of Misery drops down the pathway, but no good. Another kill in the hands of Cambodia as they continue the onslaught right now, man. Almost the 4-minute mark. This is about 1,000 gold a minute.
Yeah, this is definitely not the start you want here for Guam. This is a landslide already. And Cambodia here just managing the wave. South lane already controlled by side of Lapo. Oh, they want to fight again. But it seems like they are able to just get out from that situation there. Yeah, Guam, what can they do? I don't think they can do much here at this point. They gotta wait for the Granger to collect his item. It seems like Detective's just on a roll, man.
No. 3 levels ahead. Zukato Zen can't run away, can't get to the turret even. He's going to fall to the Detective, and Mlbb going to be next. Little slide on through with the wall, and now Hezu has to flicker out under the tier 2. They're just forced off their tier 1 turret. There's complete control of Cambodia. They're looking for more. They know Hezu doesn't have the flicker. They'll take him out. Glorious Pathway a little bit too late. And right now, there's just no answer to this from Guam. You know, they switched roles from yesterday, and it's not looking good here. In this game number 1, Turtle's going to be going ahead and taken by Detective. Mlbb, not sure if he's going to go for a kick. At this point, Cambodia is just throwing everything because they know they have a massive lead. They'll get the Revitalize out. They'll take another purple buff. They got the Turtle and the Void Crystals dropped in. Now still Detective. Look how tanky he is. The Spirit of Destruction. Are we going to take that? He follows it through. Zing gets the Heart Guard. Mlbb jumps on in. He's going to jump into his death. Unfortunately, even used the flicker there. Guam continuing to lose grounds.
Wow, 5 minutes in and the mid turret is already down for the side of Guam. Not looking too healthy there. This is just a one-sided game so far. And you can see just the control from the side of Cambodia, right? Even though it's 11-0, even though it's 11 kills already on the board for 6 minutes in, technically, but they do not forget to control the waves. This is why I love the objectiveness, and I don't think you want to fight here, Guam.
Yeah, this is just going to be tough because even your tankier members are just getting shredded down by everyone from Cambodia. They know they've got this kind of lead, and unfortunately, Guam's in a position where they just have to watch and kind of take it at this. Heart Guard going to be used. Zoning out Hezu. Meanwhile, Secret trying to run. Mlbb goes down. The Spirit of Destruction won't land, but still forced off from the tier 2 at the 6-minute mark. Cambodia continues to take everything they want, and Guam can't do much. They might be able to go ahead and hold on into the base, but forced under the turrets in between, it's just nothing's happening for them as Zukato falls again for the 5th time here.
Wow. This is so bloody, man. 0 kills still on the board for Guam, man. They are struggling to even just find a kill. And Cambodia, this is their playground, man. Land of Dawn. This is just the land of Cambodia for now. As Detective here is looking for an angle. They might get the top lane turret.
12,000 gold ahead under the 7-minute mark. They'll just jump onto the base turret. The kick is there, but look at that. Once again, Shieldheart will fall. Zing unleashing. They want to end the game even before they have to worry about another objective. The real-world manipulation is going to come down. They're going to clear out this top wave. They've got a minion wave pushing in up top. Does Cambodia end it here? They know they have total control of this, and still multiple members of Guam are down. It looks like it's going to be a quick win for Cambodia as they lock on the base already. What can Guam do? They're throwing everything they can at them, but it's not enough as Cambodia takes game 1 in 7 minutes and 33 seconds.
What the heck is going on? 7:33. Man, that's fast. I know it's going to be a landslide, but I did not expect it to be that fast. Nice. So under 8 minutes, and well done from Cambodia. It seems like they already got the dub from the Giraffes as well. Nice. So I gotta say that last pick, Angela, really just cherry on top for their draft, and execution wise it was perfect. 0 kills for Guam. I think 17 on the board. You can definitely see it from the highlights here. Early game level 3, not even level 4. Zucado Zen got taken down, and it's already just Guam already lost control at that point. From that point on, they were trying here and there, but every time Detective is ready, yeah, the hard guard will definitely assist the Detective, and you can see the 4-man gank here, bottom side. Their calculation is impeccable in this game as well. That Purify, with that outplay, almost right for Guam. I thought they got hope, but that Purify just nullifies it. And yeah, Cambodia, I thought they will be satisfied after getting that first turret top side here, but it seems like they saw an opening because Zucado Zen got taken down. And with the wave coming in, Cambodia say, hey, hell, let's go end the game. And they did. 0 kills on the board for Guam. That is crazy work from Cambodia. Draft-wise, it was perfectly balanced. You got a lot amount of DPS, a lot of good amount of crowd control. The important part is that hard guard. Combined it with Bakshiar, who is ahead. Nothing can stop you. Granger, unfortunately, wasn't an answer. If it was a carry late game, perhaps it might make a difference, but even carry early game struggles, or if you have a lot of composition that can overwhelm you. So again, just perfect drafts. Item wise, nothing too crazy. It's just a 7-minute game, and you can see Cambodia here, even from the gold obtained, damage taken, damage to tower is 0 from Guam. You can see the total dominance here. Nice.
Yeah, it was tough to see, man, honestly. Again, I'm always rooting to see, you know, some of these newer teams, newer nations come through and compete, but Guam being one of them as well. You know, unfortunately for them, it's just like this is a matchup of an opponent that is they're outmatched. I mean, that's the sense of it. Just because, again, Cambodia, these guys are very experienced, very seasoned players, and Guam, you know, their improvements over the last couple of years of Iesf is there, but they're clearly one of those regions, a part of the world that just needs a lot more time to catch up. And we saw this, you know, with many people that have just started competing in the Mlbb esports atmosphere. So it's going to be one of those things where you almost are like, you're just holding on, you know, because that's what it felt like for that game. It was as quick as ever. And we'll see how they adjust for that for game 2. We are going to be taking a short break here for you guys and for our players, of course, before we head into game number 2 here. Again, I'm Naisu. This is Gani. We'll be back after a few minutes. that was how many minutes our first game was in the series. Once again, I'm Naisu, this is Gani, and we're in the middle of a series. The last one for today between Cambodia and Guam. Game 1 was a 7-minute game, 7.5-minute game. It almost beat the record currently that we have here for Iesf Asia and Oceania qualifiers. That was a 7-minute game by Indonesia a few days ago. And Cambodia got near there. Gani, I mean, what went wrong here for Guam?
From the start, right? I think, okay, from the drafts, we can argue that they have chances with the Granger, but maybe the Granger was just opened up too soon. I assume so. Perhaps if they want to adjust, if they want adjustments for game 2, I think they do not show their cards a little bit too early later on. But yeah, again, just a great draft from the side of Cambodia, where they were able to trick technically, right? With the Matilda man, now it makes sense because technically Matilda versus Angela head to head, Matilda wins that one, so that's why they forced the Matilda ban, but they also want the Angela from the get-go. So that was a great draft, just executed properly as well. 0 kills for Guam showed dominance, a dominant performance from the side of Cambodia. Level 3 Fredrin, man, already invaded, taken down, and was just a struggle for that Fredrin to keep the momentum, or perhaps get the momentum. And yeah, Guam, a lot of things to adjust. Will they be able to? Let's find out.
Yeah, in just a bit, we'll be heading to the draft here, and that's where we have to really see. But again, it was like, if I had to nitpick one thing about the draft, it was mostly just maybe the Gushin. Like, it was like,
yeah,
they picked a Gushin for the mid lane. We didn't even get to see it get close to like coming to fruition though, because maybe in that first few minutes of the game, I remember seeing, you know, they got low in the mid lane. It could have gone either way. The Petrify wasn't used though either, so
yep.
But I don't even know if that really would have changed much of the overall game. Maybe delayed it a little bit to like the 8+ minute mark, but you know, when we're talking about games that get to a scale of like you're getting 1,000 gold ahead of your opponent per minute, because we were 3 minutes in and there was already a 3,000 gold lead for Cambodia. Like that in itself is a crazy snowball.
Yep.
Starting that early on, and so that is a problem. Like anytime you are in that position now, and especially with the lineup, I think the cherry on top of the lineup for Cambodia was the Angela pick, just because it allowed them to go ahead and continue to put pressure in the jungle, not give any of that room to breathe for for anyone from Guam to really like retaliate or try to hold together Zakata Zen's jungle. When you have a Baksha rolling in with an Angela Heartguard, like what are you to do when you're down that much, you know? So this is exactly why they decide to go ahead and ban out the Baksha. Now, I'm not sure if because they took out the Baksha, they'll actually think about banning out an Angela or taking it themselves, but you can see just how strong Detective was with the Baksha combination.
Yeah, it seems like they will deny that game to a very direct approach. Let's see, Cambodia. I'm sure they have other tricks under their sleeves here. Yeah, Guam, they understand the issue. Game 1, they identified that the Baksha was their main problem, because again, we saw the Ferojin was unable to, Zukato Zen was unable to farm properly, and seems like they will delete that. Lancelot, Cambodia here seems like also just limiting the junglers options. So very direct approach here from both sides. Guam, though, they have the blue side. I'm surprised they do not leave the Baksha out for themselves. Seems like they're not too comfortable rocking the Baksha. So what are they eyeing for here is my question. Are they eyeing for the YSS? No. Seems like, yeah, that's the answer. Seems like they're not even going for the YSS option. So is it going to be the Arlets, the Phobius? Do they want that? The CC perhaps?
It's a good question. This last ban from Cambodia, are they going to take out
the CC? Are they going to take out the Farsa potentially? I think almost in a sense like Cambodia is okay just with playing whatever game they want to. There's the CC, so they will take that out. Now, this is the question of what priority is going to be for Guam. A lot still left on the table. I'm not sure if they want to go ahead and opt for just taking like a Moskov early or like securing their gold lane early. I'm really trying to think for Guam, where is that comfort? Where is that confidence? Like, which lane is that? Because if we think about most of these teams, it's like, all right, now for Cambodia, they really like to go ahead and play around a detective, for example, who can get that early start going, especially in the jungle. And then, of course, as the game goes on, it does switch things out a little bit. But the Jushin's open, so they'll go with that. And maybe this is one of the better options, I would say, for Guam to take, because this gives you the utility. This gives you a solid mid-rotation to work with. But I think we're going to have to see what they put in the jungle to complement this, because as good as a utility from a Jushin is, if you can't capitalize on it or you can't like find the synergy to work with that, that's where it becomes a problem.
Okay. So the Jushin is, I really like the Jushin going up against the Fredrin, but Cambodia adds it with an Arlot, so that might be a problem here for Guam. Enabler, and it seems like for the side of Guam here, they can go for the conventional responses, like perhaps if they want to go for Cloak again, Granger is
it raining there too, Connie?
It is raining. We're raining here too. Oh, you can hear it? Yeah. Oh no.
Oh no, I could just hear it on Discord. Just on Discord, because I was like, it's raining here too, man.
It's raining here. Okay, there you go, guys. Hey, IDPH.
It's good on stream though. It's good on stream.
IDPH seems like
synergize. Weather synergy.
Weather synergy here. But yeah, I mean, let's focus on the drafts as well here. Lapu-Lapu, Hylos, Guam seems like they want to hold the fort low-key with the Lapu and Hylos. Lapu-Lapu can definitely enable your team, but if you're under, if you're behind, it's going to be tougher for that Lapu-Lapu to do the engaging part. Cambodia, what do they balance their first three picks with? I like a hero with range here, so either a mid laner that has range, say the Farsa, or they can pick up their gold laner here.
Yeah, good call. I was going to say, Moskov is open. You can also now focus on a couple of options, maybe just the Granger, to really make that decision a little bit tougher for Guam to deal with here. I think that's one of the main things. But also for Cambodia, like this, in this sense, I would like to watch to see how this Fredrin is played for Cambodia, because this is what I was hoping and what I was saying for Guam when they did pick it. The Fredrin right now currently, especially with whatever jungler is picked for Guam, let's just say it could be an assassin. The Fredrin right now in the current meta, yes, he can hold his own, but like in a way he almost needs to be taken care of a little bit, because in terms of the lineups we've been seeing, we saw what just happened in the previous game. Fredrin gets behind, then like you can't really contest. You might be able to go get your buffs, but then you're still left there being like, all right, I need my team's help to kind of help me. Yes, I'm a little bit tanky, but if I fall too far behind these faster junglers right now, that seems to be the glaring problem with Fredrin, which I'm all for. I'm just saying that out there because Fredrin was really the guy for like the longest time. He needed this change up to happen here, and you can see Cambodia is going to take out the alpha. There's the Farsa ban. So on this side, Cambodia can pick up their gold lane if they want to, or sorry, their mid lane if they want to, or their roam. Because right now the flex play is the Arlot. We don't know 100% if that's going to go in the XP yet or the roam here. So this will be the telling sign for us. For Guam, it's what's left in the gold lane for them. You know, do they want to go ahead and pick up, for example, like a Bruno? I don't think they'd want a Harith. Maybe there's a Claude somewhere there. But yeah, Cambodia taking a note out of yesterday's Indonesia games from Mr. Wiseman Yehezkiel with the Aurora pick.
No, it guarantees you the Pride of Ice, guarantees you some sort of a survivability, but I personally prefer the Iesf, but hey, Cambodia definitely can rock the Aurora when they want to, and I feel like against this composition, it might work. It can work, right? It can poke. It has crowd control, so you don't really necessarily have to rely on the Arlets or perhaps the Fredrin going in. With the Aurora, you can start your own thing. Let's see. Guam opting for that Hayabusa pick. Gotta be careful going up against Aurora. If that Pride of Ice is not triggered, that Shadow Kill might not be worth it. So they do paired it with a Beatrix, a great way to. It's a good marksman, but I feel like it's too vulnerable going up against a composition that has a lot of crowd control, because Beatrix Purify doesn't really work.
Yeah, this is the problem that they're going to face. Either they're going to get frozen under turret, or they're going to get final slash under turret. And you can only do so much as a Beatrix there, so this will be a test to see if Guam can kind of hold it together. And there's the Grok. Okay, so we haven't seen this new Grok too many times yet, but this is almost like, this looks like a very solid lineup from Cambodia. Of course, they cover the grounds in terms of physical and magic damage. The Aurora is enough to do that. But man, Gani, they have a ton of crowd control.
That's the thing.
That's the problem for Guam.
All 5 heroes technically has
all 5 heroes
element of the crowd control, right? And let's see here, Guam, do they want to 5v5 it, or do they want to pick off? With their composition, doesn't really. It's not really supplementing them to go for pickoffs, but for 5v5s, I think Cambodia has an edge. And keep in mind that the Moskov has control of that far lane, so a lot of layers already. If you see the drafts from the side of Cambodia, but hey, Guam, surprise us, all right? Take us to game 3, force this series to game 3 if that's possible.
Anything is possible, Gani.
And
you know, at this point, anything is possible for them. Guam definitely just has to execute this properly, and one of the biggest ways to do that is get the start that they need on this Hayabusa in comparison to the Fredrin, but also the Beatrix. The Beatrix, as long as it's taken care of and doesn't, you know, face these early 2 or 3 deaths, Guam should be able to go ahead and have a fighting chance here in this game too. So we'll see if they're able to do it, or if Cambodia goes in with another strong game after a 7-33 win in game 1 to sweep the series here against Guam. Let's go ahead and jump into the Land of Dawn to find out.
Let's go, Land of Dawn. Here we go, and both junglers here. Well, one opted for a purple buff rotation. One opted to go to the orange. So already a different approach, and slow pacey now on the Hayabusa. So they switched. Zucaro Zen is on the Lapu.
Yeah, so that's what Guam has done. I noticed they did this last year in 2024's Iesf run too for the qualifiers. They did kind of rotate roles if they wanted to. So, you know, that's always something. Again, for a lot of these teams that are maybe just competing for the first time, or it's their second time around, third time, they still go ahead and swap roles if they want to, you know, to see if they have a better shot. And why not? Because really you don't have anything to lose at this point anyway. So, whoa, Kanozen feels the damage, has to flicker on out. So with that information, Cambodia expect them to make a play here, especially after Detective finishes this orange buff. We'll see how they play this through.
Let's see. All right, this is an interesting matchup here. Not every day you get to see a Jushin and Aurora matchup, but it seems like Roamers will join the mid. Shieldheart poked, frozen. But yeah, this is the power of Aurora, man. You can just spam abilities. There's damage early game. There's crowd control. Top lane here being the main focus and pressure by Cambodia.
Yeah, like I was saying, top lane is susceptible. But Tucano Zen, not level 4 yet. We'll go ahead and get some information on this turtle, but really without any of this, I don't know if you're going to be able to do much. Frigid Glacier going to be dropped down, and there they go. Final Slash going to be used too. Zucano Zen, the first to follow, and Shield Heart. Second one goes down, so an objective and 2 kills for Cambodia.
Already off to a great start. Slow peasy though, very cheeky here, looking to steal.
Oh no. Oh, not what you want to happen on a assassin jungler like that for Mlbb.
You know, very bold there. He thought he had enough time to take that steal, but Boxy has that wall charge, so a very resource well spent. It seems like they want to go more inside the jungles. They go.
They're doing the same thing here. Gani, Shieldheart quite low. Oh, they might be able to actually get Detective, so Detective falls, but Shieldheart goes down as well. So a little bit of a trade, but this is Cambodia playing against the fact that they have another advantage this early on. Already 2,000 gold ahead. Some of the first items haven't fallen into place yet either, but man, Wadu, oh, and bottom side, Hezu is gone, and Wadu gets the kill up there. So again, on both sides, top and bottom, there'll be kills for Cambodia.
Yeah, again, just playing the rotations to a T here from the side of Cambodia. Mind you, that was the first kill from the side of Guam in both games, so Detective will be the first one to fall here in this series from the side of Cambodia. Slow peasy though.
Oof. Quad shadow. Is he going to be able to escape? Wadu final slashes him and nowhere else to go. Shieldheart lays down the glorious pathway, but is too late for the fight. Not sure if Cambodia wants to go for more. A nice charge on in into the wall. Shieldheart goes down and they burn another flicker from Zukato.
Wow. Again, just Cambodia understanding where the choke points are. Oh, final slash.
Oh, final slash. Zukato Zen in trouble. Does not have the slam on forward, but man, Tectonic Charge is the, by the way, for those that don't know, Tectonic Charge is the new wild charge. Basically, it's still a charge. Oh, Zito. Zing just is like, I want my own kill. Lands the Spear of Destruction on the right target, gets the information from Boxy. So another kill and objective for Cambodia.
Man, I think, yeah, Zing, he's feeling a little bit FOMO, a little FOMO there. He wants to have a kill on the board as well to his name. He got it. And another objective on the board as well for Cambodia. That's info. Like no flicker Hezu. Final slash does not connect. But slow peasy off the map, kill. Man. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really tough. Even with the switch up here, Mlbb isn't having any of a better time. They're once again in the jungle. Glorious Pathway is going to be dropped down, but they just want to fight. Detective could actually be in trouble. A couple shots from the backside, but the freeze from the Frigid Glacier stops them in their tracks again. But now Cambodia already taken down the tier 1 in the mid lane and the top. They've got the space advantage now across the map. They'll go ahead and look to take more here.
Slowly but surely here.
Oh, the shadow kill. Don't tell me. Not even able to kill Opie on the Aurora. That's just how far behind right now Mlbb is.
I mean, mind you, the Pride of Ice wasn't triggered as well. So, Opie is still A-okay. And Zing just doing Moscow things, man. Just controlling the far lane.
This is why you got to control this Moscow Zing. Able to get away from everybody. 4 members here, too. Secret picking up a Sky Piercer. I'm not sure if that's really the way you want to go here. Look at the damage. Zukato Zen out after a couple shots. Going to get frozen in the tracks, too. Even with a Glorious Pathway, it's a frozen pathway of death with Opie across from them. Now in the mid lane, Mlbb forced off the tier 2 turret. They're already going to get the shield here, too. Secret forced off. So a shield going down at the 6.5 minute mark.
Yeah, I mean, it's slowly, again, they're just suffocating Guam at this point. And last turtle here, I'm sure Mlbb no way to find the steal. And Cambodia, they know this, so they are taking it slow on the objective neutral take. They want to trigger the passive top lane.
They want to actually just get this base turret. A final slash are going to be used. Zukato Zen on the run. There's the pathway. They're trying to defend this, but they already lose the turret, and Zukato Zen will be deleted. Make it to a Shieldheart follows now. Still, I don't think they can end it. They don't have that wave pushing it, but Mlbb goes in. I'm not sure if he meant to, but he pulled the trigger on that to his death. And so, I don't know. Cambodia might be just looking to end the game with this next Windian wave pushing up top. They look for the kills. Tectonic Charge in. But Boxy only able to knock up Hezu. He's going to go ahead and get Lanterned forward. But that might be all they get. The The shield does pop in the mid lane, though. So Cambodia just playing into, once again, a 10,000 gold lead. Oh!
My
The
God.
final slash will swoop up Shieldheart. Now jumping on in. The mid turret's going to be worked on. Cambodia. They'll get thrown around a little bit by Secret, but even then, it's just not enough right now. They're healthy enough. They could still end the game. The top wave pushing in. Wall going to be dropped here. Down Shieldheart. What can they do? Zing just going to lock on the base. The waves are going to be cleared out. The Frigid Glacier is going to be dropped down. They get the freeze out from Zukato Zen. Wadu will go down. The Shadow Kill is going to be popped too. Finally, he falls. Wadu out of the picture. So Cambodia won't be able to end it quickly yet.
Yeah, it was a valiant attempt there to end the game, but Guam has enough resources to clear that wave, so it will be enough to push Cambodia back. But it's just still their game. I don't see any loopholes. I don't see any win cons for Guam here at this point. Zing is still okay. The farm has not stopped from him from minute 1. Lord taken care of. And ladies and gentlemen, we might see the final push of the day with this Lord marching in the mid lane. Let's see, Guam, will he be able to hold off this pressure here? Economy not looking too good, 10k, so definitely Cambodia has tools to end the game. Hezu though, awkward positioning.
Yeah, not sure about that. Oh, Hezu. Is he just trying to buy time or what? Oh, man. Looks like there's going to be an issue here. They're just off on the whim, but I think it's going to be too late. Hezu trying to get back to it, but yeah, I was going to say that's got to be a pause. Clearly something happening there for Guam, but I think even though we get back to this, you know, it's the writings on the wall here, Gani.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the inevitable. If Guam are able to clear the Lord, even I don't see them clearing it out. But if they do, they're just delaying. I think they're just delaying the inevitable. And again, just Guam understanding their true power of drafts of their picks, and we gotta give a shout out to the combination of Grok and Moskov, man. We saw it, I think, a couple of times in this game that there's a wall and there's the Spear of Misery landing to that wall. So that's just an instant route control. Perhaps you guys at home want to check that combination out. It might win you games. But yeah, Guam here definitely on the back foot. We are still waiting for that pause check. But hey, I gotta respect Cambodia, man. They do not kill Hezu off instantly.
Yeah, again, they knew what was going on here, so
Yep.
even at this sense, I'm not sure what you're able to do, but it looks like it's going to resume, and maybe this is where, you can see Boxy. He's not going to do anything. Hezu's going to get back to the base, so it looks like they'll at least get to go ahead and try to defend. So, good guy Cambodia. They give them a little bit of time to wait for this. That's respect right there. Final slash into the Frigid Glacier. Again, there's not much you can do when you're this far behind. Cambodia will go ahead and do it the right way with respect. They'll clear that out. The Lord was gone. They knew what happened here, and Guam, facing the obstacle that is Cambodia, will not be able to withstand it. It's under 10 minutes. It's a sweep for Cambodia.
2-0, done and dusted, and Cambodia wins the series out. Wow, what a performance. Just both games, man. In the second game, it was still relatively fast. 7 minutes it was for our first game, but 9 minutes, that is still super fast. And you can see here from the early fight here, first turtle, when the Lapu is not level 4, you know that Cambodia will definitely punish. That was the kill on towards the detective, but that SOD landing on towards Zukato Zen, it was that first kill for Zing. And slowly but surely, Cambodia suffocates Guam here in this game. Their positioning, their timing, their resources just spent to the right and perfect, guys. And yeah, after this base turret falls here, it's just all GG. Guam almost lose, or at least Cambodia almost destroyed the base sooner, but that was the combination right there. The ball towards the Spear of Misery. That is crazy. This was the final push, and it will be enough. This was not the final push. After this, it was the final push. With this Lord, it will be the final push, and that final slash just opens things up for Cambodia. No Hezu, no Shield Heart, and wow, you got to take the L this time around. Nice try though, and yeah, great respect coming from the side of Cambodia. Waiting for Hezu to recall and then strike the base.
Yeah. You know, again, they knew what was up there, and unfortunately, regardless of that fact, Guam was not in a position to really defend or fight. You know, from start to finish, again, it was one of those situations where just you have a really tough time of when you get that far behind in even one of these lanes and you're on a hyper assassin jungler and you're not able to go ahead and get that. Again, they did a role swap, but ultimately, you know, that's just how it is in the current meta. You get a snowball going, you get a lead going, you're going to take it away, you know, from there. And yes, we see teams that are able to turn the table back in their favor, but again, when you're losing on all fronts, it's very difficult to make that happen here. And once again, also, you see why the Aurora is so good, man. OP, again, taking what we saw from Indonesia yesterday and making it used here in Game 2, especially with the Final Slash. Like, the Final Slash and the Aurora work so well together because you really time it well. You can Final Slash into the Frigid Glacier and you're able to catch multiple members, then Frozen. And, you know, how do you survive from that? So, again, congratulations there to Cambodia on the sweep. Again, this was, you know, very expected. Just, again, how familiar we are with them and how much we've seen Cambodia play as a team. Again, these are the guys from CFU Gaming, and they played clean as ever. So, and hopefully for Guam, they can continue to get the reps in and improve over the course of time. So, I'm not 100% sure where this places everybody for our, you know, future matches here. But I know we'll wait for, maybe we get some updates here too, because I think there was, so match 2, Vietnam won first game. Okay, so yeah, that's one of the things. We got to see where everybody falls into place later on. Again, this is day 5 here for the Iesf Asia and Oceania qualifiers. And, you know, it's been, I feel like there's been a couple curveballs here. Most of those curveballs have been in the draft though. Like, I would say that majority of the top teams that we've expected from the groups, from the different groups here, Gani, have performed really well.
Yeah, I think the drafts here, especially for today at least, has been quite unique with the Gushin last pick. Did not work though, unfortunately. But hey, at least you were bold enough to do so in the tournament and you tried. But yeah, I think the results here, at least for the teams that were streamed, it was expected, right? We got Myanmar 2-0, Cambodia 2-0 as well. The stronger teams and well-known players did very, very well. I think they showed that they displayed their qualities, and I think they could go far in ISF offline stage if they do make it through.
We'll see, man. Again, a rather quick day here for us for the ISF Asia and Oceania qualifiers. Day number 5 for me, Naisu, and of course Gani to bring you the action today in the 2 matches. I think it'll be us again tomorrow to join you guys, so do check us out tomorrow for 2 more matches, of course. And we're getting close to the end there, so sit tight with us. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Thank you for joining us, and we hope all of you guys have a wonderful day or evening wherever you're watching from. That's it for now. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
See ya.